man.
All right, we got him.
We like to apologize.
For what?
To absolutely no one. The two-time champ does absolutely fucking nothing. 210, which is quite monumental.
210 episodes.
Woo!
Well
Yeah, so we have a very, very special guest in the building.
Indeed.
I'm going to let you introduce yourself to begin with.
Thanks, guys. I hate this part. This is why I like to do the podcast. So I'm AbbsWorld, and I've known these lot for what?
Well,
We left.
Since 2006.
2006.
Oh my gosh.
So it's almost 20 years.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No.
That
Yeah,
makes me feel sick.
yeah.
Even for us, like, we went
Wow.
primary school together as well, so that's even more time added on.
But the thing is that we clicked up properly 2006.
Yeah, 100.
So
Wow.
That's a long
20
time.
That's
years.
so crazy.
Sick of y'all.
And we're nearly 30 as well, guys. Can we talk about that?
Oh,
man.
don't.
I don't want to, but
I mean, it's a reality. My mum keeps trying to remind me. I'm like, yo, get off my back. Like,
she wants marriage.
let me live.
soon come.
Oh, exclusive.
All right, boys, introduce yourself.
Cool. You usually introduce yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
first. What's going on?
Do you know what? I've got a bit disorientated because there's a guest here, but
No,
all
it's cool.
it's two them. The real is back. The real is back.
Come on.
I am him, the best member of the Dark Skin Society. Him and Neutron in the flesh.
He's him. That's it. You're not going to get your dancing and them man out the way?
Get them out the way. They already know they need to get out the way.
Although Damson Idris is doing his thing nowadays. So
What's
you
he
need to...
doing now?
I don't know.
I can't keep up with this boy. He's a busy man.
He's your op though, so you got to keep an eye
Yeah,
on
my
him,
biggest up.
Colson, you see Don Colleon in the building, the one and only, aka L Coolins, aka C Note, aka Hollywood Cole. We here, man. Coming for your left there, your right there, surround sound, smart speakers, portable speakers, you name it, we dare.
Yes, sir.
That was a mouthful, innit?
It is.
Episode. Oh, fuck you, man. Episode 210. Pass it to my partner, Eman. Go
it's
on.
Eman G45, the G solid in my name, the 45 is silent.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on, Skin gets Chibogwe, Prince of the East, Tinfoot Hat Eames, Black Mamba Dove.
Do you know what?
My intro was shit. So I need to start that again. I feel like
No, don't worry. You can get off one.
Okay,
You can get off one.
yeah.
Yeah. Cheat
Yeah.
Welcome, Abby.
Thank you.
Do you want to do a proper intro?
No, I'm scared.
Okay.
No, I'm scared.
I'll fix it up. I don't have any other names. It's just Abs or AbbsWorld.
You know what?
I'm going to stick simple.
Yeah, you've hit all
I've
the home
always been a
bases
simple
there.
girl.
Yeah.
I have. I left school with ungraded and E's in most of my subjects. So I'm
Swear.
trying to carry that on, yeah. But it doesn't mean anything. You just
No,
need a
it
good
doesn't.
personality and you're fine.
That's
Pretty much, you're right.
no lies
You're
told.
bang on that one.
I think they put so much pressure on them. Like, how could you say to someone at 16, hey, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?
I
And
know.
Crazy.
if you pick these courses, you can go down this path. Give a fuck.
I
Like,
know.
I didn't even know what I wanted to do. That when I was 16, I thought I was gonna be a footballer. Like, this is not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
literally.
But you think, I still might get scouted. You never know. But it's not gonna happen. So the things you want to do then are just not gonna. Life doesn't work that way. It doesn't materialize that way.
No.
And there's a lot of people who were very intelligent or very smart, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they've even gone the way that you expected them to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Because I met someone recently. I met a few people, to be fair. Some people have like. There's someone with a master's degree and they'd be working at the warehouse. Be like, "Right, why are you here?" Like, yeah, just money's good, money's decent. I'm trying to find a job, but can't, so I'm just here. It's like, oh, okay. But life will take you in different places and stuff like that. So it's.
Some people are just, I think a lot of us spend our 20s, and which is what you're supposed to do, just trying to figure shit out.
Mhm.
And you have to give yourself that space and allow yourself that time, regardless of what a sheet of paper told you when you were 16 or 18 when you did A-levels. And that paper says, well, it's almost like trying to put you in a box and saying,
Yeah.
this is the path you should go down or you have to go down. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Even things like when you do finally get to uni, I look back on my degree. If I'd really been happy or if I'd really picked what I wanted to pick, I wouldn't have picked politics. I probably would have picked something like film which I have a real interest in.
Right.
So a lot of us are just doing things
For our parents, really. We're living
Yeah.
for our parents,
pretty
aren't
much.
we? Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, trying to make them happy. So I guess the point is, don't put too much stock into what they say when you do get your results back, etc., stuff like that.
But then again, I think the reason why they do that and they push you in that avenue is because they feel like that is the route to
100%,
success
yeah.
for the average person. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, then
There's a somewhat guarantee, but
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
of the day, it's no happiness guaranteed. For me,
Which
you know
makes
what I mean?
sense, but I think especially in this day and age, whereby a lot of jobs don't care what your degree is; they just
No.
want you to have. If they're like, we need someone in this role, they just want you to have a degree, but they're not really pressed in what it's in. More time, they don't even care what the grade is for your degree. Some will, like some certain organizations, but most of the time it's just to show that you've gone to study higher education, and for whatever reason they think that makes you more intelligent. It doesn't, you know.
Not at all.
No, and like if someone went back in time, I guess to all of us and said, "Look, in about 15 years' time, you're gonna be podcasters." We'll be like, "What? What the hell?"
No.
Are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
what's
What
a
even is
podcaster?
that? What?
Yeah.
What even is a podcaster?
For real,
Yeah.
that's so true.
It wasn't really around, was it? Well,
No.
It wasn't at all around when we were in school.
No, it's
No.
just. I mean, people were, but it's not the entity it is now. Like some very mainstream, and it's something that a lot of people digest. Which we want to talk about yours. So, how did you get into it? Like, what made you want to start it, especially with the avenue you've gone down? Because you've been so raw and honest on yours. What was it? What was the moment when you were like, "Yeah, I have to do this"?
So about like when I left school, I didn't
Mm.
really know what we was just saying. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and then I think I was about 19, and I ended up going to a place called Nicaragua, which is next to Costa Rica, and I lived there for 6 months. And I just knew that, like, when you feel like I can't be average. I don't want to just be someone that works a 9 to 5 and has a okay life. Like, so I had a lot of thinking space when I was out there, and also a lot to say. And I just always felt so alone with like my mental health and stuff when I was like growing up without a dad and stuff like that. I just felt so alone with it because it wasn't really spoken about, was it? Like mental health back in the day. And so when I was out there, I was like, right, you need to do something that's going to really reach out to people easily. So you're not going to have to go and like, stand in front of a crowd or whatever. Just do it from somewhere. And I wrote out a whole plan. I wrote out loads of names and stuff like that. And I just parked it for like 5 years after, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And then I started when you start watching them all, you're like, no, do you know what? If you've got a voice, like, I can have a voice as
100%.
well. And then it just started from there, and from the very get-go, I just was so like, I was just really happy with it, happy doing it. And I'm the most open person. Obviously, there's certain things that we all keep behind closed doors.
Of course.
But I realised the more I was opening up, the more people were following me, and they was relating to me. I didn't want a crowd of people following me that just like me for my makeup. That's dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want you to like me and kind of relate to me because of deeper issues and stuff. So, yeah, the idea, I was in the middle of a jungle in South America, and I was like, right, I'm going to do this. And then I parked it, and I was like, years later, I was like, no, I'm going to do this.
I think, and that's
yeah.
beautiful because you have to. Everything happens at a particular time, and maybe at that time when you wrote that list or you put all those ideas down, it wasn't the right time to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this definitely feels like the right time, and it's exactly that. That's what I really enjoyed, because I hadn't seen you since we left school, but I felt like just from listening to your podcast, I got to know you really well and what's going on in your life, and that people can really gravitate to that, and that. It's very warm and it makes it easy. Like you said, you didn't just want to be known for your makeup, because there's hundreds of people that do that. It's like, why should I care about you? And you've given people so many reasons to as well. Like, it's been fascinating. And just the honesty that you've been able to share, like the journey you've gone on with your dad and, your granddad recently passing, stuff like that. I really admired your ability to be able to do that.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Some tissues, please. No, thank you. I really appreciate it. I think with vulnerability comes such strength. It really does. Because you lot can out me for whatever you want to out me for. I've already told the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
you can't out me for nothing. You can't reveal any secrets. I've told you lot from the deepest depths of my depression where I was and whatever. So yeah, no, thank you. That means a lot.
No. I mean, it goes without saying that I think that's a really good way of putting it. Vulnerability is a strength, and people do admire that, and that's why they are gravitating towards you. What do you think for you is next up? Where do you want to take it? Because obviously we spoke briefly that there's a lot of things you've got in the pipeline, and you've left your job. You've said that. So
yeah,
what's next?
Do you know what? It's the first time in my life I haven't got a plan, and I'm so comfortable with not having a plan. Like, we're all, is it that old school generational thing of you need a plan, what's your next steps? I don't want a plan. You know why? Because I trust, when you just trust yourself that it's going to work out no matter what way it goes. I know it's going to be around podcasting or something like that. I've recently been looking at jobs in like mentoring in school and in schools.
Okay.
But school, I hated school, so I'm like, do I really want to go back there and deal with dickhead children like I was horrible in school. I don't want to deal with that, but I don't know, I could do.
I don't remember you being horrible though.
Not horrible, but I hated it. I just did not like anything to do with. Do you remember me in school? What was I like? I don't remember myself.
Not horrible though.
Yeah,
cool.
Abby was Abby was a menace, bro.
You know what?
Let's call us.
Yeah.
Why are we being shy? Abby was a menace.
I was.
No, my experience.
You two were in the same class, so
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we always was cool though, weren't we? All of us. Like, none of us ever had issues or anything. Like, but I just remember not. I don't, when you're just like, I don't fit in this box that you lot are trying to put me in. I don't want to write things down. I'm very, like more creative.
Yeah.
So I think the school system's a bit.
Oh, 100%. I've thought that for a long time now. You can't. It's that old age saying you can't teach a fish to walk on land. Like, you just gotta let it.
It's true.
You gotta find its avenue and then try and teach it that way. Obviously, you need these things to be able to read and write and then to be able to do maths, etc. But I think when you start getting to like year 10, 11 especially, and that's where a lot of teachers say they start seeing kids get frustrated, and the frustration leads to behavioural issues, is because they're just not getting it. And when you're not getting something, it becomes so frustrating, which is what I like about what you're doing. Is I keep thinking it'd be so great if we had someone or like, what would I tell my younger self almost? How would I interact with him? And you're giving a voice to a lot of people who you would want to have guided when you were their age. A lot of young girls or even young guys as well, who have no leadership, have no guidance, and they need a voice, or just someone who's got solid advice and is coming from a level. It's not patronizing as well. It's just like, hey, this is what it was like for me when I was such an age. And I really admire that aspect to what you do.
Thank you.
That's all right.
No, that's so kind. That is the route. It's definitely the route of going down and like down the route of maybe not like a full-on mentor, but just making people feel not alone. And I like to say things that maybe we don't want to talk about, meaning, when I was younger, I used to fall in love with any and anyone because I didn't have that dad growing up to say this is how you should be treated. And when you don't know where you come from, you don't really know where you're going.
100%.
So I will talk about it, and it's not like I don't care about people, what they think of me. Of course, there's a level to, we have to care what people think of us. Yeah. But it's me, so why are you gonna apologise for being you? And
100%.
So I think it's definitely the route I'm going to go down, is like the mentoring side of things. I'd love to do the podcast full time, which might even happen. I'm just leaving it in the hands of God, and I know God's got my back because I've been praying to him for years. So He's got to come back at some point. Can you actually answer me? Can you hear me? He needs an ear test because I've been asking for this years. But I trust in whatever's going to happen, and 100%. It'll be right for me. So
no, I agree. I guess that's interesting. What would you guys tell your younger selves? And this is more to the lads.
Ooh.
What would I tell my younger self? You're not gonna make it 100-meter sprinting. That's a fact. You're fast, but the boy them out there are fast, bro. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I don't know. Like, for me, luckily, like, and it's not the same for everybody. Things kind of worked out in my favor, whereby I did well in school, and like naturally, the path I could take. Obviously, you picked up on my maths straight away. That's something that's kind of helped me to this day. So the job that I do now is kind of linked to it, which it's not the same for everybody.
Yeah.
So I would probably just tell myself to be just patient and like just trust. Unironically, Arteta trust the process. You know what I mean?
100%,
You'll be
yeah.
able, you'll get there.
You'll get there.
Because there was times like, especially like first and second year of uni, where I was like, I don't really think I'm enjoying this anymore. Like I was in like a rut. I wasn't like, I actually was really thinking about changing my degree.
Really?
Really wasn't feeling it.
What would you have gone down?
I have no idea. I really enjoyed psychology.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoyed psychology.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can.
I just like people, like learning about people's psyche and
100%.
like what makes us think and how we are and how we behave.
Love that.
But that's completely different to maths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I knew like the career aspects and prospects from psychology were nowhere near where I could do an accountancy or maths, whatever it may be. So I don't know. Like it's hard to say in hindsight, but definitely just hang in there and
100%. I think that's
trust you'll actually end up where you want to be.
Face front, bruv. That's
I
what.
said face front.
No, I think I'll probably tell my younger self. The truth will always be the same. Will always be facts, but opinions will always change. That's one thing. Stack peas. That's another thing. But other than that, I think everything has come to this point because of the decisions I've made,
100%.
mindset that I've had, and I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
okay. In terms of what people are supposed to achieve at this age, at this current moment in time, maybe a few things I haven't achieved, but as far as everything else, I mean, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm very grateful for that. But I think that's probably the only thing I would ever take. I would ever tell my younger self if I was to go back in time, invest in Bitcoin.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, that's it, really and truly.
No, that's good. I think both points were.
What would you tell yourself, bro?
Yeah.
I think I tell myself, stop trying so hard to be liked. Like,
100%.
I have still to this day, it's something I have. Like, I have this desperate need to be liked by people, and I think I'd work on just telling, just like, it's alright. The people who love you for who you are, and you don't need outside people or people who you deem whose love or likeness that you want. Just tell him you've got a good circle, you've got good friends. You don't need to force it.
Fair enough.
It's so human though. It's
Yeah,
so
it
natural
is.
to want to be liked. Think about when we were in the caveman days. You always have to kind of sometimes link it back to that. Like if you weren't liked, you'd be kicked out
100%.
your tribe and you would be eaten by a lion. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's a natural instinct to want to be liked.
Yeah.
But that's unhealthy if it's not sustainable with you liking yourself
100%.
in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
No, I think that's a really good point. I guess, and that's even something I guess I've had to work on is if you don't like yourself, how can you expect other people to? And once you've done that, it will just come off more naturally that, these people, not even that these people who you want affection from, but like even within your close circle, if you like yourself, it will shine. It will come off naturally. So it's something that you can always look inwards and change. I think that's definitely something I'll tell my younger self and give me a lot more happiness back then. But it's that tribalism that you get when you're 16 or in school. Everyone to a certain degree wants to be liked, but sometimes it can be quite crippling.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's horrible when you don't feel like you fit in somewhere. Imagine if you don't feel like you fit in at home as well.
Yeah.
And then you go to school and you don't fit in there. That's mental. Horrible.
100%. I agree. So one thing I want us to do more is to be able to open up, especially on here. But I guess you're an expert in it. How do you find it so natural? How does it come to you so easily?
I don't know. Do you know what? My mum's always been really open with me about. She's a psychologist as well. So I think growing up with a mum that's a psychologist, she says like if you do not let things out, then it will affect you internally. You know, anger causes cancers and causes things like that. It's scientifically proven. And I was always really nervous of like, I don't want to bottle things up because my dad, he suffers really badly with his mental health. He's got schizophrenia. And I used to look at him and I used to be like, if I don't let this out and be open with myself and others, I don't want to end up bottling it in and being unwell mentally like that.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from fear. Weirdly, being open, it just comes from a place of I don't want to be like that, so I need to get it all out. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. So I think it comes from fear, weirdly.
That is, yeah, I didn't think about that aspect to it. That is really impressive.
No.
But that's a good lesson to have. I think certainly, we come on here and we laugh and we joke, but I would love to be able to show that aspect to us more. There's been times where we've had real conversations, but it's so important. I think, again, it goes back to, it makes people gravitate towards you more because they can relate to you. So it's really important to be able to do that, and it shines through definitely on your content.
Thanks.
That's all right.
That's so nice. Thank you.
I guess, what was the hardest, or was there something you've opened up about and you thought that was a bit tough to let people in on?
Yeah, I have. I actually hid the episode on my YouTube because I opened up about it and I was like, "Whoa, that's a lot." Because once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there.
It actually was something that happened in school. I don't know if you ever remember this. You might not remember it. Right, just hold your horses because it's pretty deep, to be fair.
Okay.
But I just remember, like, one thing I opened up about, it was like on my second episode, was when I was in school and I was a bit lost, like, you know, emotionally and all of that. I was a bit nutty, and I was just kind of, any guys, like, from them, like, the older years and stuff like that, you know, I just used to think if they wanted to sleep with me, then they really liked me. But you're so naive at that age that sex is on your brain all the time as a boy. But there was one incident, obviously I'm not going to name any names, where someone, he was like, "Oh, you know, let's meet." Do you remember the top of Mill Lane?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
That's where it all went down.
It's a hot spot.
Yeah.
For real.
So he was like, "Oh, let's meet here," and da da da. So I've gone there, and you know, I think I was about 15. I was so naive, and you know, he was like saying about doing sexual things with him, and then it happened, and then someone recorded it, and it went round the school actually. And I opened up about that because I know that it happens so much.
Yeah.
But that was something that I'd never really admitted to before that actually even affected me. And one of my friends said to me, because obviously I still hold on to that, because your body's been violated in a way. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what you're doing. You're a young girl, don't even know what to shave. Do you know what I mean? You're just so naive. And my friend said to me, like, you have to forgive yourself
100%.
for being in that vulnerable position. And if you hadn't had all the things going on at home, you wouldn't have been in that position. You don't know right from wrong at that age. But definitely that right there was quite a big subject for me to talk about, because you bury things
100%
for years.
Yeah.
And you don't realise that affects you. And then, you know, yeah, it clearly has affected me. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things I was so scared of.
That is the fact that you was able to open up and share with that, because that is still something that happens right now. That's quite prevalent. Zara McDermott, she did a really good job on BBC Three about situations like that, where people have, you know, you think that the situation is just a private thing that's happened between you and that person, and then you don't expect it to blow up like that. And I can only imagine the sort of, for lack of a better word, trauma that it would cause. And then you seem to have done well in battling that, and then again forgiving yourself, which I think so many of us don't. Like, a lot of the things that I feel like I'm still upset about is things I did in my early 20s that I'm now being like, oh, you have to forgive yourself for that. Like, you aren't that person anymore. You've obviously made strides to be better and do better, but it's really hard to, like you said, forgive yourself for being in that vulnerable position in the first place.
Forgiveness is the biggest part of healing. Like, it really is, whether that's forgiving yourself or others.
100%.
Because we are just prisoners in our own minds a lot of the time. A lot of the time we haven't forgive someone that don't even know who we are anymore. And it's like, they don't even second think of you. They can see you in the street and not even know who you are. Yeah. But we're still holding on to that grudge and holding on to things. You can't move on and heal if you carry on holding on to things that happened to you 10 years ago. And there's a really good saying, and it's like, you'll never overthink yourself into a better future, and you'll never overthink yourself into a better past. And everything is literally about the here and now and what you can do with your trauma to make it your greatness. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. and it's that whole thing. You can't go forward if you don't, look backwards. But it's so important to be able to forgive yourself. And there's been so many times where I've been harboring like anger towards someone, and it's like you said. One thing I do, my biggest problem is I'll be mad at someone, and they won't even know that I'm mad at them, or they won't even think like that's not really a reason to be mad at someone.
Yeah.
And then you actually deep it, and you're like, yeah, I'm probably overreacting. Like they were in the wrong, but like, is this a life and death situation, or is it even that deep? No, and that's something I've tried to do a lot more now that I'm older. Like, is it that deep? I think that's something I'm often questioning myself.
Yeah.
Or do you even, like, people have their own lives going on. So if they've done something wrong to you, let's say there's someone was supposed to do something for you and they're unable to do it. Like, you don't know what someone was going through that day. And this happened recently to me. I had messaged a friend and I was like, oh, they might be mad at me. Like, should I try to sort it out? So I double messaged them to try to sort it out. And next time I saw them in person, like, oh, I'm so sorry I was ignoring your messages. Like, they had a whole issue going on in their personal life. I was like, you have to kind of take a step back and be like, that more time people aren't trying to do something to upset you or annoy you. They're just trying to, they've just got something going on. So you also have to give people that leniency as well and forgiveness.
100%. I think we're so entitled as people, and we're quite selfish. And if someone is off of us, we completely circle it back down. Well, it's me. It's not. It's like 1% of the time it is probably you. Yeah. And if it is you, you'll know about it.
100%.
But yeah, like we always do. I think there's been a few times where I've thought like, oh my God, I've really upset that person. They haven't replied to me. Actually, no, they've just lost their nan, or they've just lost. Do you know what I mean? But it's all about us all the time, and it's not.
Yeah, the ego is powerful.
It is.
Yeah. And
yeah. It can put you in the place where it's like, with my famous phrase, if I'm right, I'm right. So it's like like sometimes you might have a discussion or even an argument with somebody, and all of a sudden it's like, hang on a minute, let me take a step back to really see what the person's actually saying, rather than me just having to put myself forward and be selfish in this moment. So, and then even just acknowledging that can just relieve a whole bunch of stuff where it's just like, oh, I see the bigger picture now. So that in itself it's very important. So yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think that's really well said. What I want to discuss is we all have something in common. We all went to Chafford Under campus, now known as Harris Academy. How did that experience impact all of us?
I think for me, do you remember when back in the day when like this gang of boys come down
Yellow
gang.
Oh,
Yellow
when
gang.
they
I
come down,
them.
that was the most impactful time because it was so scary. I thought, no, Chafford's posh, like never has drama, and then all of a sudden these bandana young boys come outside. That was scary. I swear it was. Do you remember Tiffany and Timmy?
Yeah,
they was like they got caught in the firing line. I think we all did really at some point, but that impact there, I was like, wow, this is kind of ghetto. Like, it is. That time was a bit scary, and it impacted me in a way where I was like, this is like London now. And we were so naive at that age, so we just thought it was our own little bubble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was very much our own little bubble.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'll come back to the point of Yellow Gang, but then basically, for example, there was Gateway. Then there was Gray's Tech, now known as
Gray's Academy.
Yeah, now known as Gray's Academy. Then there was Gable. Like, there was all these different schools linking up in Gray's. And then we were Chafford just on our own.
Yeah.
So we had our own bubble. So then coming back to, like, the Yellow Gang, it was like, who do we call? Like, who do we talk to?
Who do we call?
Yeah.
We ain't got no one to back us up.
Yeah. Avengers or something. That's crazy.
That was a ridiculous time. Especially when you think, oh, why would you come here? Like,
we got no smoke. Like
no one's on it. Like, who are you beefing? It's a one-sided beef.
What made it worse was the fact that the olders they ran away as well. They ran away, so it was just like,
but
bro,
you've all grown up in Chafford, which is for the most part or at least at that point, was a safe area. No one's been exposed to that. It was, I guess, for them, it's an easy lick, and you already know that if they go back to their area, they're probably not the big boys around there.
No,
Like, what the
not
fuck
at
is a
all.
a
Yellow gang.
No, back then colours were
No, they
really
were.
No,
weren't
I
they?
hear
Yeah.
it, but like,
there was green, there was all over the
Yeah.
place.
I hear it, but it just seemed, why would you come here? You know, this ain't it. This ain't the spot. So
It's kids, man. We're just exploring, innit?
But who even
There was
started that
Lakeside.
beef? They got answers. They got like literally. We need answers right now.
I know how it originated,
go on.
but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say on it. I'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
tell you guys
yeah.
after.
Is it
Okay,
because
cool.
of my man, who left and then moved? Yeah.
And like, but then there was also like a girl caught up in there as well, and then it just got very messy.
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
And you know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Anyway. But yeah, I was there when they robbed me and other people.
Was
Yeah,
you actually?
yeah, I was there, man.
Oh my god, what happened?
I mean,
Tell
long
us.
story short, it was just like
That's so scary.
I think it was so we had football that day.
Mm.
So I think we had a game on, and then I played. So then on our way back, I was with a few of my friends. I won't name names because obviously I don't know if people are comfortable with it or whatnot.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
And to be fair, in my situation, I'm actually relatively calm. I know probably I haven't harbored some kind of trauma to some extent on it, but largely I was fine because my phone was shit. So they were like,
You was ready to give that up.
they were like,
what was it? Was it like
I had a fucking LG cookie
Chocolate. Oh,
type
cookie.
shit.
Oh my
So the guy was like, yeah, give me your phone. I was like, I bet. Like,
go for that?
this is the opportunity I'm waiting for. But yeah, it was just unfortunate. We came out of like school, was on our way to Tesco's, the station side. They like cornered us off. There was like 4 or 5 of them. 2 of them had like massive knives. So it was
Massive
just like-
knives.
So it was just like, alright,
What?
man, if you want it, take it. You know what I mean?
God.
I always had the
Um,
impression it was a flicky. That's
Yeah.
insane.
No. It was peak. It was
Oh
peak.
yeah,
Serious?
I'm
Yeah,
handing it
100%.
over. Expeditious.
100%.
What you want? You can have my wallet as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and to be fair,
Here's
I
my
was,
keys.
bro,
My
and,
house just standing. My mum's not in. You can go through the back door.
but I think they were looking for certain people in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't us. So they were just like we were there, easy lick, just
Yeah.
take what they got.
Wow.
So I remember coming to school the next day, sitting down with all like the head teachers, all the teachers, because obviously it spread around, it became
Yeah.
a thing, and like at the time they were asking me questions like, "Yo, are you okay?" And I was like, I mean, I'm personally fine, like I'm not that bothered about it. But looking back now, if I was to like be my age and seeing myself go through that, I'd be like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck? Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's a massive
true.
thing to
Did you
actually
tell your
like go
mum?
through.
Was you-
Yeah, my parents knew about
Did they
it.
know?
Yeah, they were shocked because the police had to come to my yard. It was it was a big thing
God.
afterwards. Yeah.
Oh mad. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was quite a big
Yeah,
deal.
that is really traumatic. Like I've always just assumed it was the robbery, and that was it. I didn't know the
No.
school
There was
got
loads
involved.
of there was an
And then-
aftermath. There was a massive aftermath.
And then the
afterwards.
police came around the yacht. That's
Yeah,
insane.
there was a lot that happened.
Cause we don't
But-
I don't even want police in my house.
No.
So
No, we didn't either.
at
At
that point, I might be like,
Do you know what I mean?
it's done. But I hear
Yeah,
it.
that was actually quite an impactful time. That was like year 10, year 9.
Yeah, no, that shapes you as a person.
But I don't know. As a whole, like my Chafford experience, like there was only like one saga out of like 20
Yeah.
sagas that
Yeah.
happened whereby I don't know, meeting different types of people. Kind of
100%.
the thing I like the most about moving to Chafford, because obviously I didn't grow up in Chafford prior. I was in London,
Mm.
Whereabouts?
so I grew up in East London, and
Okay.
then I moved to Chafford when I was like 11.
Mm.
So I didn't know anybody. So coming in, I was like, oh man, I
Oh.
don't know what the vibe's gonna be like. Not sure if I'm gonna make any friends. But then I met a whole bunch of people who were like kind of similar, so who'd moved and done the same kind of switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just nice having that kind of community there to kind of like, you know, create lifelong friendships with. And to this
100%.
day, I'm still
Oh.
with these people.
Yeah, no,
then,
it's
so-
true.
Oh,
I think
lovely.
it's
good.
because it was such a melting pot as well. People
Yeah,
don't
that's the thing.
realize that actually, as
Yeah.
in, especially, I think maybe more our year was the first year that happened, whereby there was people of many different races.
Mm.
But that was so important as well. Like you see different aspects to life, and I think it's definitely helped me because, again, I say that experience is the reason why you can go into so many different rooms because you've been around so many different
Yeah.
people growing up. It wasn't just like, I know, for example, let's say Willie Ed's was a predominantly
Yeah,
white school.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't know what that sort of man would be presenting himself today.
That's
it would be
so true.
it would be a completely different. And you want people that look like you, but you also want to have that mix, you know, of people who have different perspectives and lead different lives.
And I think our year group largely got along.
100%.
Like the different groups were like not. It wasn't like me and Tom Wood trying to fight each other. In school. me and like we're brethren.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
blessed,
It was
yeah,
it was
yeah.
very much like we were all cool. Whereas in the
Yeah.
other year groups, I don't know if that camaraderie was like as obvious.
No, I would say it wasn't. To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah.
No.
I would say we were the first of its kind. Again, like, so
No,
Michael
you're right.
Michael Zariba's year was quite mixed,
Yeah.
but I don't know what their like in terms of how they interacted would have been. But certainly for us, it was very much a case of everyone was blessed. Everyone, for the most part, got on, which is so rare. Obviously, there'll be instances of people falling out,
Which
but
happened obviously
a lot. But I think
Yeah.
if you're together with someone for 5 years, which we all were, it's inevitably gonna
It's gonna be a
happen.
fight or two.
Yeah. Oh, especially with the girls.
Oh,
There was a lot of girls.
Especially in our class.
Yeah.
Too much.
Were you both in the same class?
Yeah. Every 2 weeks there's beef between the girls.
it?
I know.
And
it
it's
was
just like,
bad.
what's this about?
I know.
We have to stop the lesson now.
I know.
That's crazy.
Them girls were fighting. Listen,
Our class was lit. Don't get
Yeah.
twisted.
No,
Our
no,
class
no,
was
I'm
lit,
not-
but it was just like
Was it you or S? You two were.
They were
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This. You're so good. Was we in quite a low class?
no,
No,
was
no,
it-
no,
that
no,
was
no,
I
it
was
was
in
just-
your class because I don't even know anything. Like, I must have been all right then.
No, they just put us in you,
So
innit?
7 to what? So
Oh.
year 7 to year 9
Yeah.
we're all just
Yeah,
in like
CAMPUS.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Yeah.
I didn't remember that until now. Wow.
So yeah, them girls were falling out all the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As you said, it was
Until it got to year 10, I think everybody, because now the classes are just
all
mixed.
mixed.
yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It probably should have just been like that from the jump.
Probably.
Nah,
Could-
not really.
You think?
Yeah.
Why?
They needed stability.
They needed
Yeah.
to
Do you know what? I feel like I always used to get into fights with the elders. There was one girl in particular that she actually come into our class and I don't even remember it. Do you remember Miss Palmer, the French teacher?
Yeah.
I hated her so much.
People always beef Miss Palmer.
I hated her so
Bare
much.
people
she used
beef
to
with
fall
Miss
asleep
Palmer.
in our class all
No!
the time.
Swear down.
I wish I had my Nokia because I would be able to show you pictures. Yeah, she always used to fall. I think I got one on Facebook actually.
That's jokes.
And there was, I don't know if he was in the class, but there was one time when one of the older girls must have come in the class and just thumping me up.
Oh,
And
fuck.
I was like, oh my, I think like we was chatting to the same guy on MSN or something. And she was like, we were both
Classic.
like pissed off with each other. But yeah, and the teacher had to proper break it up. It was quite bad. She was like whacking chairs over my head and stuff.
What the-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Listen, it do be happening. Who in your class got a chair thrown at him?
Was it that day?
Nah.
I swear it was somebody else.
It was.
Oh
Oh,
my
it
God,
might have been.
Daddy. Oh my God, I remember
It
him.
was Dammy.
Oh, yes. It was.
Crashed it on him. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, but no.
No way.
No, there was so much that happened. Even like, cause like there was a madness here. So, Dammy, yeah, man, this was in year 7.
Okay, can we talk about it?
Yeah, no, we'll talk about it.
Oh,
'cause
is this the
I'm-
bike situation?
Yeah, no. So basically,
Oh,
that
right.
Never
Dammy,
forget.
no, Dammy stole my chocolates,
Oh,
Yeah.
that was it.
and then Kirsty stole my bike.
So they were doing up Bonnie and Clyde. Is that what's going on?
They
That's
hit
fucking
lick.
No,
crazy.
she just no, but Kirsty just took my
That's
bike,
crazy.
and I'm like,
I
Did you get the
can't
bike back?
remember that.
and then Dammy
That's
started
so
taking the
funny.
piss.
Oh.
So then I was just like, nah, I just turned red, and then that's it. I gave him a couple bangs to the face.
Do you know what happened?
I got my
in
chocolate
res-
back and I got my bike back.
I've definitely told this, but do you know what happened in response to that? The school was racismo. They called me in because they thought I was Dammy. So I'm in the office. Tomo's like, you can't be doing that. How are you taking this chocolate? This is the fight you're starting. I'm there like,
It wasn't me.
but you know what's mad? He's talking about a situation I was never there for. So I'm even trying to put 2 and 2 together. Like, I know
Oh, wow.
sometimes we walk home, but I've not taken his chocolate in any scenario when we walked home. So I
So
don't know what
you're just there, just like
he's just
And he used
shouting.
to get let loose
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
didn't
No,
he?
I'm
He used to scare
talking
me.
them ones where he's
Red.
screaming.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I just went, listen. I just had to
I
be
don't know
like,
what to tell you.
I don't know what you're talking
And you're
about.
so comical with it as well. He must have thought you was taking the
Yeah,
piss.
That
you're
was
having
the
him
point,
on.
Yeah, he thought I was
That's
like trying to take the piss, and
Yeah.
then he started to realize because I was like getting flustered. Like, you know when you're like, okay, he was explaining things about the situation,
But you're like,
and I'm like, I was home by this time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
So
funny.
Mama had to apologize.
I would have
But
paid to see that.
Yes,
That is
I
good.
would have paid to see
wouldn't
all of
you
us.
lead with at least Dammy or say the person's name? I'd have just been like automatically, it weren't me. Like, I know our names are very similar, even to the point that my sister's Dammy, but like,
Yeah.
crazy to think that it was me. That
Craziness.
was once in a
Yeah.
lifetime situation.
It was
man.
once in a lifetime situation.
Oh,
That was crazy.
Chafford was a whole lot of stuff, man. It really was.
I know. I'd love to go back just for one day. Oh, do you know what? If there was a school reunion, would you go to it?
You know what? I had a discussion with someone. I think it was Billy,
Oh,
To try and do one, right?
to try and do one for 2021.
oh,
2021.
To do
Because
like
that would be like the
anniversary
10
thing.
year.
oh my
Oh,
god!
Yeah, that would be
okay.
the 10-year thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't. It never
Just
happened.
never.
But like to do one would be amazing.
I would come.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
I know a lot of
yeah.
people feel different ways about school, and to be
Yeah.
honest, fair play. Like
Yeah.
I would never want to force anybody, but personally, I'd love to.
I
I
would.
would love to do it for sure.
Just to see, like, just to link up with people. You don't have to stay long.
No.
But I think a lot of people, do you know what it is? You want to see where a lot of people are at. and,
Yeah.
What's
Like,
going
it'd just be
on.
good to see you. And I think if you feel okay enough to go to that experience, you must have enjoyed school to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
100%.
It'd just be good to see people like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, people have kids.
I know.
Like,
Houses, marriages,
Yeah,
it's mental.
as well.
and some of these
Yeah.
kids are like older.
To go to
older
school
than
and
school.
that. They are in
Like-
school.
Yeah, they are actually.
Maybe we should try and make
Organise
something
it. What,
happen
Made in
next year.
Chafford school reunion?
School reunion,
Yeah,
Jesus
back to
Christ.
school.
Why not?
That would be so good, guys.
Yeah, that'll be
We have to
That'll
play
be clean.
songs from when we was in school.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my
I'm
god,
trying to hear
yeah.
T2.
Tinchy Strider.
Tinty's
Can
great.
Hi, it's me again.
Yeah.
Do you remember getting home from school and putting Channel U on?
Oh,
All the
my
time,
gosh.
man.
All the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
used to text in on my mum's phone. She'd be like, "You've run up the bill."
Of course.
I used to be like,
Them
out
shits
to
was-
abs.
Wasn't it
That's
like
jokes.
£2.50
Yeah.
Bro, that's
You could
expensive.
request songs. I did that. I hold my hand up.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear. There was enough songs I wanted to hear. I swear by what's it?
N-Dubs.
N-Dubs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when-
We were just saying like
Used to
21.
infrared that.
Oh my god.
Oh
Infrared.
yeah, right at the beginning where
Infrared.
infrared
When
and
you had to put the
tunes.
phones really close together.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
And then
Bluetooth came
Samsung
out.
Samsung had the phone, yeah, and then it had the mini speaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It had the mini speaker.
The Walkman. I think.
No. There was a Sony Walkman, then there was a
Oh.
Samsung, and it had the mini speaker. If I'll
Oh.
find out, yeah.
They're doing too much.
I still can't believe they gave us all phones when we started. All those like
Those
touch
PDA.
pads.
Get the fuck out of here.
Remember?
That
No.
shit.
That was
How do
nuts.
you remember that?
That was
Mine got
crazy.
stolen
Oh
in
my
Africa, bro.
God.
Say what?
Yeah.
You just got stolen.
Did it?
Yeah.
Your
Oh.
locations is
Oh,
crazy.
no. I
that's
remember
so
the
crazy,
bubble
innit?
game on it.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bubble
yeah,
game
that was
hard.
good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was
Why'd they
so
give us
good.
that?
That's
that
so
was
crazy. Think
That
about
was
it.
dumb as fuck.
How expensive that was at the time.
know.
Everybody had one.
They were really
Yeah.
trying to separate the house from the have-nots.
Yeah.
They
That's
can't
right.
do that
Oh,
now.
we
Yeah.
had to pay for it, didn't we? I
Yeah,
sure
it
we had
wasn't
to
like
sure
they
we
gave
did.
it to us for
No,
free.
so
Yeah.
That was
basically,
terrible.
no,
Yeah.
there was okay. So there was a kid in our year, can't mention his name, and then he had his dad. So apparently his dad was doing up mad interest
I
on
remember.
everybody,
Yeah.
and then that's when he just packed up and left, and then moved to Australia.
What?
Yeah,
I
he was moist. His house got egged. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, his house was on the
yes,
road.
sir.
I can't remember
Oh
who
my
this is,
god.
but you gotta
Yeah.
tell me
remember
after
that?
Yeah,
I think I know who he's talking
Yeah,
about.
you have to. Oh, yeah, he was.
We
a kid.
forgive you. We forgive you, but like
Can I just say something as well for
you deserve to
Skull?
get egged.
Mm.
Yeah,
You
you
just-
did.
At that time.
You
At
actually
that time.
did. I sometimes get a bit anxious that because when I was in school, obviously you lot know I was a nice person at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, apart from one time I had to remember in.
Me and you had our tiff.
You were waiting for
And
this.
I've been waiting.
I knew you was gonna bring this up. We was in. Was it?
It was like DT or
Yeah.
something like that.
No,
Yeah.
that was really our fault.
Hey, she.
What did she do?
She's done the madness, bro.
She's not sorry.
I am sorry. Can you explain?
So basically, I don't know what we were doing in this class. I think we were like wielding stuff. You know, you have like wood.
Yeah,
So we're wielding stuff. And I think basically, I don't know. I thought me and Abby were fighting at the time, but clearly not. But she had
I
like
was just showing off.
dust or like wood, like
Yeah.
like sanding of wood, like dust on her hand. So she came up behind me. She came up behind me, yeah, and called my name. I turned around and she just blew it in my eyes. And I couldn't see. I was like, oh shit. And I went red. Like I started cursing her out.
Yeah, he did.
And then like the teacher was just stood there, just like he didn't even get involved. He just let it play out.
What teacher was this?
Do you remember what teacher was Abby?
What, Mr. Morris? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was Mr. Morris.
Oh, wow.
Who did you go out with?
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
He's married now.
Yeah, he's married.
That teacher. Again.
He was married then.
But yeah, me and Abby
No,
were.
that is insane.
No, do you know,
call
can I
it-
just say something? That still haunts me to this day because I think you were
Really?
such a nice boy. Like, why did I do that?
I don't
just
know.
didn't think you'd
Nah.
switch like that. I
Nah,
thought you
I
was
saw
like,
red, man. I had a bad temper then. I was angry, man.
Oh,
But I think
sorry.
we got to like because I know by the time we got to prom we were fine because we had like a random prom picture together, me and you.
do we?
Yeah, we
oh,
do.
I'd love to
So
see
but at that point, like I think we were cool.
Yeah.
I have to make that the
Bro.
picture for this episode.
Yeah, you
If I can
have
find
to.
it, yeah, 100%. But at the time, like I was pissed,
Yeah,
man.
I
I
Nah, I
couldn't
have
believe
to. In your that's listen. I don't know. If, I could go blind. I know you couldn't see for
damage,
shit.
No, you know what the funniest accident was, yeah?
Go
Was
Uh,
I don't know if it's actually him, yeah.
it. Go on.
I think I don't know if it's actually the person we know, but there was Rakesh.
oh
And
my
it was
god.
It was a
DT.
Tim.
Tim.
one.
Oh, my
yeah,
god.
okay, yeah. So
Yeah, crazy.
He tried to kill him.
Go on.
They were in DT and
It always happens in
happens
DT.
yeah.
Tim was
DT,
holding. Rakesh was holding down
Design
a plank
tech,
of
bro.
wood for Tim, and then Tim chipped into his hand like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Man.
Nah.
Oh
I
my
could.
god.
That was
But
different.
what was the purpose of DT?
No,
Like,
it's-
let's get
really,
to
let's
the.
actually be real.
yeah.
Except for
Was-
food tech, have at it. Like you should
Yeah.
learn
no,
to cook.
yeah.
DT
Make food.
quite literally.
Unless they want to teach us how to do flat packs, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Because
Because
what the fuck am I
it
doing?
wasn't an option, was it? We literally had to do it.
Yeah,
we
year,
had to do
year
it,
7
had
to
to
year
do it.
9, you
What
have to
was
do
that
it.
all about?
And then what? Textiles as well. Get the
Oh,
fuck.
I remember that room as
Listen.
well.
In textiles, the needle from the sewing machine went through my hands.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
For real.
oh.
For real. I didn't even want what I was making in the end.
But you have the craziest moments in those classes. I'll never forget one of our textiles teachers who came in was like a substitute teacher.
Oh, they
And
got
she was
terrorised.
just not like, she even walked in like, look, I'm not teaching you lot. Like, I'm not having it. And she just walked out. And everyone was like laughing, like throwing stuff at her. No one gave a fuck. No one cared. Like,
Mad.
but it makes me think back to myself, like, imagine you're like a young teacher at the time.
Right.
And you're
But
trying
you know
to
what's
do
scary? Like,
your job.
I know teachers
It's
now
so
bad.
who are in their 20s, and I'm thinking, I couldn't have taught.
No.
Like,
How do you
weren't-
do it?
I don't even know.
How the
As
hell
a
do you do it?
school, it wasn't that naughty, but there were some
Because
classes.
you can't be the cool teacher. You have to be a teacher.
You gotta assert
So-
yourself.
I'm not teaching year 10 science.
way,
I'm just
that's
not.
hell.
I'd rather.
Yeah, science was crazy.
There's a million
Oh,
things
with the
I'd rather
Bunsen
do.
burner things, and they used to go, "Okay, we can smell gas or something," and then we would just. I do remember there was this one teacher. Was it Miss Davies or something? She was like quite a she was a really large woman, like.
Oh, New Zealand.
Yes.
Lovely woman.
Lovely, but we terrorised
Yeah.
her.
Oh,
She
wow.
used to cry every lesson.
Yeah, you
And,
guys
like,
are different, man.
She would go like this. When I turn back round, I'm gonna have a happy face, and then she'd turn back round and she'd just start crying again. But yeah, when I think back, we used to be
like,
horrible to our
hundreds.
teachers, but
And I don't even know if it's necessarily being horrible.
no, we're just
it's
being
just
kids.
yeah, it's just a lot of
Kids,
kids in a confined space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bored.
That's yeah.
But
That's
we
why
were- we
you
were
have to
scared
really
of
give credit to the good
we
teachers.
were scared of Mr. Stanenwald though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
were scared,
gosh.
didn't he?
Yeah, it was.
He was a lovely teacher, but we were scared.
Yeah, we were.
He demanded respect. Though. I'll give it to him. A lot of that's what I was saying. That's
Yeah,
why,
we did respect.
Like a lot of the good teachers that were there, like will have my respect forever. Like people
True.
like Mr. Kerrin, when Mr. Kerrin came in, he was a young teacher as well. So
How old
I
would he have
loved
been when
him.
he
started?
off rip, he got respect.
How old would he have been when he started?
I'm gonna say Mr. Kerrin was 27.
Yeah,
Wow.
or maybe a bit younger.
Maybe even like you don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't
You
have a
don't
concept
know.
of age. Of
No,
what
that's
adults
so
will be.
true.
He could have been 24.
Yeah,
Mm.
because when you're a kid, he's a big man.
He's just an adult.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it doesn't
These
matter
guys are
what
adults.
adult. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like now we look back at things. There was even I think when I was in sixth form, there was one teacher. She was 24.
Yikes.
So it was just like, oh, okay, but like,
There's nothing you can teach me.
no.
yeah,
No, but the
yeah.
thing is, she wasn't.
You're 24.
No, but the thing is, she wasn't teaching me
Life
anything. She
experience
wasn't
we got.
teaching me anything. She was she was teaching. I was there just to help, basically.
Right. Okay.
We're there to get work experience. But yeah, like the conversations we were having were like kind of close, just conceptually and just whatever. But other kids, like, nah, I see your little child's just messing around the corner, and I have to go there and help. And I'm like, rah. But like, when we look at it now, at the age that we're now, we're all 29, 28, 29.
Yeah, 28. Thank you. Don't put the year on. That's next month.
28, 29. So basically, now if we go and teach a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, we are worlds apart.
Yes, I agree, but I also think that we are the most woke generation there is, and I think that we're so more open-minded to behavioural problems and why they're happening, and why is that person always making everyone laugh? What do they need in support? But back then, it was literally like, you lot need to get on with your work, and you're going out if you mess around. Oh my God, being sent out. I used to be sent out quite a bit, and then they would have them random like searches. Them teachers used to be just going up and down the corridor. I used to be like my back will be up against the wall. Thinking, please don't see me, please.
What's it? So, he was a assistant head anyway. He was doing the searches thing, and I thought, I'm fucked. So he took me to isolation because he was like, what are you out here for? I was like, I was talking. Like, come with me. I was like, this is not how it works. I'm only supposed to be out here for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Nah,
that
That's
ain't
not how it works.
Like,
I said that to him.
But no, there was levels to being in trouble and being sent out.
Yeah.
And that weren't it. Like, there was no need to take me to isolation because I was talking.
Nah, isolation was jail, you know.
I like
for
isolation though.
Free my guy.
That's a small...
Free my guy. We walk past the screen like,
You can't talk, can't do nothing.
no,
It's just
and
there.
all white
here.
walls. Just one window.
Oh my God.
That's
You
crazy.
know they didn't want to put that window in as well.
Yeah,
Oh my
false
God.
that was it, yeah.
Oh man.
No, but when the door's open and you see your guy, you'd be like, yo,
yeah.
Send help.
my man.
SOS,
know.
somebody
Man.
rescue me, please.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You definitely put that on Facebook one day, didn't you, as a status?
my
Free
God.
Demi.
Free my guy.
God. Yeah, school was different, man.
It's when you had your yellow card and then your red card.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Your green
Some people
card
lived
was-
on that.
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time,
yeah.
Do you think there was any like pervy teachers in our school?
I'm sure there was a few
Oh,
things. that
everybody
happened.
knows that one teacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Everybody knows that one teacher, and it's consistent with every. Because my sister, she's
Still there.
no.
Oh,
My
okay.
sister's in uni now, but when she was in school in Harris, I think the teacher was there, and everyone was like, "Yeah, no, that teacher's still."
I don't understand how people can
He's
be in
still
that
at large.
profession. And
There was a lot of suspicious pedos in that school, though. Like, look, I used to look at them and think, you're definitely a nonce. Like, I would not like see your internet. Like, if I looked at your internet history, you'd definitely
you
find
got the- you
something
got the
on
mad
there.
thing.
Yeah.
machine. Hey, that's gross.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah,
Girls
100%.
have a better perception of it than guys, though.
We
100%.
all have boobs as well, and they're easily to look at. Boobs are, and I remember I used to have massive boobs, but I actually had them reduced and uplifted because they were so. I remember being in PE thinking I don't need a bra, and I'm cracking in my eyeballs. I'm like, ouch! I
This episode's
know.
got too many potential names.
Yeah, I remember like some like male teachers would be looking, and that's okay. You can look. I suppose, like just a glare. It's normal, isn't it? But we are in,
like
In the
people
professional setting, it's
yeah.
peak.
Yeah.
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 That's
you are kids,
insane.
and we are kids as well. So it's
yeah.
like,
Actually, it's not okay. Then.
it's not really. Nah, it's not the wave.
It's nasty work.
But then I've seen some teachers look at the guys as well. So it'd be like,
right.
or they have like their conversation where it's like, this guy, just watch out for him. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, but some of the man were dumb. Like, we would see certain teachers and be like, "Oh, I bet she fancies me." But,
Yeah.
but real talk, she hates your guts.
Yeah.
No,
You know what I
listen,
mean? She does not like you, bro.
sometimes that energy just needed to happen in order for us to
yeah.
achieve what we need. Because me in chemistry, bro, I don't know how I got A star, but let's just say some teachers, they needed to be there. Yeah.
What one?
I can't remember what her name was.
I can't remember. her name.
Jay was in love with her. He would have paid her mortgage.
Of course he
I
would.
have
Of
paid
course.
a mortgage.
He was. I've never
I
seen
love it.
anything like that. He was smitten.
Does anyone remember the? Well, you're not going to agree that he was fit, but the guy, he was a black guy, and he was the IT teacher. He done IT.
Oh, he's
There
never.
was
He
two.
was cool.
There was one who slipped over. Was it him?
I don't
or
know,
was
but he
there's
was
another
quite
one?
young.
He's the one that
I used
slipped
to
on ice,
fancy
innit?
him so much.
He was alright, but there was another one that actually got done for being a pedo.
Oh my God.
Well, being a
yeah.
pedo,
I-
but you got
No,
done
you're
for something.
right.
Is that him?
No,
It must
No, I think it was a false allegation because like he's working like when I say he's working with kids, I mean that's his career. Like he's an
I forgot what
entertainment.
his name was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention.
There's
his
two
name.
best to not
people.
mention
I think
Yeah.
the other
I'm
one was
trying to
cool. He was
remember.
he was calm, but he
Was it Mr. Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas. Yeah, Mr.
It
Thomas.
was. I really fancied him, and I remember when I was 15, I had a fake ID, and me and the girls would go out to Romford on a night out, and we saw him there once, and he
No
like,
way.
That would be my worst night.
yeah,
I'm going home.
oh,
You
scared.
get-
I went into school the next day like, you're right, sir. No, that weren't me.
God. Yeah, nah, that is crazy.
No, but
Yeah.
the other teacher I see on a regular basis now.
yeah,
He's
he's
doing
blessed.
up parties. He's doing up entertainment. He's a really cool person.
Is
But
it?
what happened? Like when he explained it, he said like this was the situation. Someone just didn't like the way I touched. Like they didn't like the way I just did that. So from that it escalated, and they just said, "No, we can't have this." So then it just
right.
I had to just change career, and then from there,
They got my out of there.
yeah.
Do you think there was a lot of racism in our school?
Oh, do you?
Oh my
But,
God.
no,
We
but
could do a
me
whole
and
We were
episode.
fighting for our lives.
We could do a whole episode.
Year 9 was a
I
hellhole.
remember the football situation. It'd be blacks against whites. Do you remember that?
Oh, no, that's just
But
friendly
that's
banter.
friendly. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, because I was talking to Robin, my Robin Pasquale.
Oh
I was
yeah, yeah,
speaking
yeah.
To her, and she said like because she was always classed as a white girl because she
Huh?
was like
She's mixed race.
she's mixed race, but I mean the way she acted was white,
Ah,
weren't
yeah,
black
yeah,
enough
yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever.
Right.
And she said, like, when she looks back now, like, there was so many, like, really horrible racial slurs and stuff, but we were so uneducated then.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah,
And,
we
you
don't
know,
We just didn't know.
I think, yeah, it was there, but
There's a bit of both, but largely there was a large amount of.
nah, it was.
There's a mad thing going on in that, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we dealt with it well. It wasn't anything. I think sometimes you can be in those situations and it can be really debilitating, but it wasn't anything like that. Like we all just got on with it. There were certain things that now looking back, I'd say
that's a
that
bit over
person
the line.
needs. Oh, more
Yeah,
that
yeah.
person needs a punch.
We need to scrap.
Oh,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When you're in a racial situation or someone throws racism at you, you almost kind of go into shock mode. Like, I
How
can't
this
believe that.
actually
I,
happened.
I can't believe you've just done this.
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah,
But
yeah,
how
yeah.
uneducated was we then? Like, I don't know. I suppose when you're young, there's no excuse for it at all.
Nah.
You're just, I don't know.
It's a
weird,
completely.
isn't
It was a completely different time. You could get
Yeah.
away with a lot more
you
different stuff.
could.
Most of the time when we was in school, was it even?
Sometimes you couldn't, like for example, me, I was in a few situations where I personally couldn't deal with it because there was collectivism in a situation. So I'm not talking to one person and it's a one-to-one. I'm talking to maybe one person with a group of 4 other people. So then they might say something and I can't do anything. I can't do anything to defend myself because if I do something, it's a collective, oh, let's just jump Eman and let's just push him around and do whatever. And then now you can all laugh and then now we can spin a narrative. So I'm now in a situation where it's like I have to fold and walk on. There's been a few of those situations and it's happened just both with guys and girls. So yeah,
100.
racism was there. It was there. It was
prevalent, bro.
It was prevalent.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, like you said, it was a different time. And not that excuses
No,
it.
that's not an
I
excuse.
think everyone hopefully would know that that's not okay now. If anyone did do it or say something out of line, and maybe not that we could have done anything, but if maybe we'd spoken out more as well, people would have known that wasn't okay. But again, we was really young back then, so
And the climate was different. I got a feeling like the kids now, there probably is an element of racism like that happens.
Yeah.
But I reckon they're probably a bit more like
They're more
even,
savvy
more,
towards
even
it.
more work than us.
But
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like,
100%,
you can't
yeah.
say that type thing.
Yeah.
And it'll get easier as generations pass. But
My sister told me about a person in her year. She was a cat. I think
She
she was a
wait,
cat or a
what?
fox.
Pardon?
Cat.
Yeah, a
no,
fox.
what are we talking about? As in,
I
that's
think
what,
no, I,
See-
I think she was a cat.
She identified as a cat.
Identified as a cat.
Oh,
Meow
allow
meow.
it, man.
I'm gonna
I
say
ain't got
now.
time for
I remember you
that.
telling us about this.
Yeah, yeah.
a
So like
time
everybody
ago.
just played along with it, and they
Oh.
just.
No, I'm not. Oh man,
I'm not encouraging that shit.
I'm
You're not a cat.
I'm sorry. They can have that with the rest of the stuff, but like, we're not getting into animals.
No. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Either a fox
I
or a
was gonna
cat.
just
Yeah.
a fox. Well, it's,
No,
Fair
that
enough.
is too much.
this world is mental. We've been given too much freedom. I think.
I
you
hear
know?
you still.
Yeah, I think the thing I'd say is you just kind of have to block out the noise and then select the parts of it that you do want to interact with. That's what I'm doing now, because you come across so much and it's just like, I don't have an opinion on this.
I'm
I
just
actually,
neutral.
I
I'm just like,
actually
okay.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
yeah, I'm on the neutral thing now.
Do you know what? We have not got much energy anyway, right?
Mm.
Left because of all the negativity that goes on in the
Yeah.
world. So
Yeah.
just holding that little bit for
Yeah.
yourself that you don't really need to give away is really important.
Well,
Yeah,
I've always thought this is the next stage in potentially evolution is the mind being able to compartmentalize everything. Because you have to think, well, actually, if you go back to like let's say the 1500s, you only know what goes on in your small town. But now, because I have the internet, I
That's
know what's
true.
going on everywhere.
That's
I can't
true.
there's a flood in Yemen, there's a
We've
fire.
got more worries, haven't
like,
we now?
But you can't. It's unrealistic to
Can't
think.
care about
all,
everything.
yeah, you can't. You just. It's
Can't
not
care about
you
everything.
being not caring about the planet, not caring about people. But those people are millions of miles away, nearly.
Yeah.
You can't take everything in. It's impossible.
It is.
The only person you'll end up upsetting is yourself.
Right.
There's a really good episode of Lizzie McGuire where she takes on all of these issues
that.
and worries, and then it just ended up making her so upset. And then what her friend advised her was, you just need to fight one battle. So if you want to care about the planet, have at it. But trying to sort everything out, you'll send yourself insane.
Yeah, fact.
Especially with Cosy Lives as well. Like I'm just trying to pay my bills at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Aliens are here. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I actually watched a film. Have you seen it? And if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I will pay for someone's ticket because it is so impactful. It's called The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've not.
I have
seen
to
it.
watch
Eman
it
was
now.
telling us
You
about it.
have, yeah. So I don't know why I went and watched it because I know that I take a lot on board.
Mm.
But when I watched it, I felt quite depressed for like 2 days after because
Wow.
I'm such an empath anyway.
Yeah.
That,
Mm.
and you feel so helpless. If anyone that's watching this doesn't know, it's just about like trying to say it in the best words really, child trafficking.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah,
I went
yeah.
it there, but it is like £150 billion industry, and yeah, I was watching it and I felt so sad after. My mum said to me, she was like, because she prays as well, and she was like, I think I got a message from God, and I was like, go on. She said, people that go through those situations in the world, they're like God's very special children because they are actually exposing the evil that's in the world, and without it happening to somebody, you would never know who's evil and who's nice. In a way. And she said, like, that's not our battle to bring to the earth, that's their battle to bring, and that's their mission. And she was like, but she was kind of asking God, like, oh, how can I help? And he was like, it's not your mission.
Yeah.
It's not your mission to help. You look after your children so it doesn't happen to them, and you spread awareness about the film you've just seen or whatever, or the news, you know.
Yeah.
And that's your mission. But other than that, until I call you,
That's a very beautiful way of putting it.
Innit?
Actually. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you do come away from those things and you think, fuck, what can I
What
do?
can I
to-
do?
There is actually nothing. Like, obviously, the people that do it, they're well trained in this. I think he was like a former CIA or something. Like, he had.
he's
Yeah.
a CIA. And then,
Yeah, so he has the
during
experience.
story-
If I get in this world, I'll probably end up dead. So I could probably
Exactly.
send peace to his organization or help by seeing the film. And what you've done here by spreading awareness, beautiful. So I think there isn't much else we can do. We need to get better at realizing that, because
yeah.
you could just send yourself in a spiral.
I know you can't save everyone because it takes a
No.
part of your soul away when you try and
100%.
save someone, which really, spreading awareness verbally is enough, because otherwise we will just be done for. Do you know what I mean? We'll be in a very bad situation mentally. It can turn you insane if you. It's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah,
When you go
pretty
down
much.
rabbit holes, I've done it myself. I got into a rabbit hole a little while ago and I was like, I'm not eating anything anymore from Tesco. I am growing all my crops.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my t-shirt back to front. But I didn't do any of that. But like, I think it was a rabbit hole with like the elites and stuff. I just really went down that route. And my mum said to me, listen, your little self can't do anything. Maybe just raise it, to someone that you think is ready to hear it. But you can't push that information on other people.
Yeah.
Because we're not all ready to hear certain realities, are
Yeah.
we? But oh my god, don't go down a rabbit hole.
No,
oh,
I've tried to stop
horrible.
doing that. Oh man,
Yeah.
some of the rabbit holes. The problem is, I love TikTok, and it's very
Same.
easy to just go down a rabbit hole and
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, what does this mean?" And trying to find out more and more. It's honestly not worth it. And it's good that you realize that the time you was putting into it, there's nothing we can do in those instances.
No.
100%.
Okay, so final topic I wanted to discuss: when is a moment where you found peace? If you have. It doesn't have to be like, it's just, I guess, tranquility almost.
Do you know what? This might sound a bit superficial, but this is actually quite recently I found peace. Don't know about you guys, but I've always thought that if you're not really happy all the time, then you're depressed and there's something wrong and you're not doing enough. But I've actually come to realise recently that just being okay on a day-to-day basis is actually good enough. You don't have to be buzzing, because anything that's not substantial is unhealthy. But I've always tried to search for, no, you have to be happy all the time. You have to be happy. If not, you're going to... And I was so up and down with my moods. I was either really happy or really depressed. And I've just recently found like a happy medium, which is just being okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I found my peace. I was like, oh my God, it's so nice just to feel like a normal person and not be chasing a high to feel happy all the time, whether that's buying new things or whatever. Like, I think that's where I found my peace, is when just realising it's okay just to be okay and not up
Agreed.
there or down there. So,
That's beautiful.
That's the best way to put it.
100%.
'Cause trying to find peace, like, what is peace? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's different things to different people.
it is. It's like love, isn't it?
Yeah.
It means different things.
I think for me, I've just tried to stop caring as much recently. And it's just been so freeing. I'm just being like, just if something happens, it's like, again, it goes back to what I've been doing recently. Is it that deep? And just being like, no, because the only person you're upsetting is yourself. So I'm just finding it more and more peaceful to just be like, not care too much about certain situations that before would have upset me or disappointed me, and just trying to let things be and just let things play out. That's what also I'm trying to do a lot more, is just let things go the way they should,
You ain't God. And
that's beautiful.
do you remember when I said that?
Yeah, you did,
Yeah, and it's the truest thing ever. Well, our brains are actually not like put together to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of us live in constant anxiety, because we're trying to predict the future. It's like, you haven't got that power, babe.
So
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that is exactly it. When I found out that anxiety is just worrying about the future, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Does.
I'm worrying about things like that are for next week. I can't honestly, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what will happen in the next 2 hours. So worried about something that's happening next week is just crazy. And also that's something I'm trying to do less of as well. Just take it day by day.
I have a really good book to recommend you. Have anyone read The Power of Now?
No.
I'm gonna buy you
I've
that book.
heard of it.
I've read
I'm
it.
gonna buy you that book.
Yeah?
It
It's a good
is
book.
a most life-changing book. And they say, like, the person that lives too far in the future's got anxiety, the person that lives too far in the past has got depression. And it's all about the power of now. So I'm going to get you that book. You have to read it, okay?
I will.
And you should, there's another book which is similar, because I read that book.
Have you?
And I read The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, I
straight
love
after.
that. I have that. Yep, okay.
That book literally speaks to what you just
Yes,
spoke
it
about.
does.
And you'll definitely just start picking up things you just don't. You drop out things you just don't care
Right.
about.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Needs to happen.
It's a good book.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I think, because, to relate to sport, but that was one thing they all said Michael Jordan was really good at, just being present, being in the moment. And he's the best at what he did. So I can see how that being present, being in the moment, being in the now would elevate everything in your life and elevate how you approach social situations, work, family, you name it. And that's something I definitely want to do more of.
Yeah, you will as well, because you're very aware of it.
Yeah.
So, well
that
done.
helps 100%. Eman?
Getting the job done. Getting the job done and worrying about the job at hand. That's it. Once it's finished, you know what the next step is, and so on and so forth. And it's really important, because if you have a task at hand and you know that tomorrow, you might have some time to do this, but if you finish the task before time, then that means everything that needs to be done tomorrow, you have enough time to focus on that. But once it's done, you can worry about everything else the next day. So it's almost to your point as well of if something is not really relevant, something that doesn't have any energy to bring to me in any way, shape or form, leave it. Because it's not necessary and it's not going to improve anything or escalate me. I might download it in the subconscious and then bring it out next time. But right now, I'm just not here.
Love that for you.
I'm just not there for it. So, So getting the job done. Because once it's done, then you can now have free time to do whatever you need to do. If it doesn't get done, cool. You've had the time to do whatever you could do. And then that's it. You improve for the next day. But that's it. Once it's done, it's done.
Love that.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's a perfect place to finish. So the way we end the show is we pick a song that we're listening to. So if you have a song that you're listening to at the moment, or you can have a search for your Spotify if you need to have a think.
Okay. I actually know.
I'll go.
I really love right now Skilly Bang, Deja Vu.
Okay, good choice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And my choice is gonna be by Little Tekka, and it's Heaven on Earth featuring Kodak Black.
Oh, I've never heard that.
It's a good song.
Is it?
Well, I enjoyed it. Not everyone else has to enjoy it, but I really liked it.
Enough. I'm gonna pick a song off of Emma Huncho's new project called Gabos.
Love him, Huncho.
Features. Who does it feature? D Block Europe.
Is that that's not the name of the album, is it?
No.
Oh.
Name of the album is My Neighbours Don't Know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I need to listen to that.
It's decent actually. It's alright.
Okay, that's my vibe.
Yeah, I like Emma Huncho.
Fib by Isaiah Rashad.
Ooh.
The House is Burning.
The House is burning,
Nice.
but the song Fib.
Got you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Abby, before you go quickly, actually,
Go
if you had to pick one episode from your podcast to recommend to somebody, which episode would you pick?
Overcoming trauma and toxic. What is it? Yeah, trauma. It was like what's it called? You know when you're like toxically entwined with somebody.
Symbiotic relationship.
No, what is it? A trauma bond. That's it. Yeah, how to get over trauma bonds. Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I said symbiotic relationship to my girl the other day, and she was like, "You're just saying words now. Like,
I'm
you
glad
don't even know what that meant."
I'm glad you checked it, bro. Because what is that?
No, it's a real.
Is it? Is that
Yeah,
your
it's a
thing?
real terminology
Thought that was
in
just Spider-Man, bro.
No.
It's an actual thing.
Yeah, so symbiotic means like
Alright.
you're intertwined. Like some
Okay,
two things. Like say two siblings are really close.
Got you.
The terminology is they've got a symbiotic relationship.
Oh,
but
wow.
Listen,
There
she's
you
a
go.
therapist. I'll be using them words. I'm trying to get down with her lingo.
God, that's amazing.
Oh, you're losing every fight.
Yeah.
So why do you think that way?
Oh, you're
Fuck!
Yeah. I'm just hungry.
I'm always losing 1-0, but I love it. Made In Chafford podcast episode 210. Abs, tell the people where they can find you.
So YouTube is AbbsWorld podcast, TikTok is AbbsWorld, and then Instagram is AbbsOfficial. I don't even know why I put that, but yeah, that is it. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been amazing.
210. Yeah, that was great.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. We was
Thank you
podding.
so much.
Yeah, for real.
Definitely.
It's a wrap.
Cool. Until next time.